The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. An inspiring quote by Thomas Edison. Jai Hind and very good afternoon to Mr. Abhinandan Dhoke, faculty members and all the students of IIEBM. I, Prakhar Tiwari, MC for today, welcome you to the corporate guest lecture series, Bodhan. It's my privilege to introduce Mr. Abhinandan Dhoke. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Today, it is my great honor to introduce a leader who has been a source of inspiration through his remarkable career and relentless drive for excellence, Mr. Abhinandan Dhoke. With over 22 years of all-round experience, Mr. Dhoke has established himself as a multi-talented professional known for his entrepreneurial spirit and passion for learning. He thrives in exploring new avenues and takes on uncertain situations with remarkable confidence, always aiming for the most productive outcomes. His ability to navigate complex challenges and drive innovation has been a hallmark of his career. Mr. Dhoke's journey is adorned with key leadership roles across prominent organizations. He is currently the Managing Director for Asia at Bowley Group. Additionally, Sir has also served as the CEO of Organic India, where he continued to bring his visionary approach to life. His experience also spans significant roles, such as Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Relaxo Footwear and Head of Sales Development at Britannia Industries, showcasing his profound expertise in sales, marketing, and business development. On the academic front, Mr. Dhoke has continuously sought to enhance his knowledge and skills. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering from Vijay TI Mumbai and has furthered his leadership insights through prestigious advanced management program at IIM Bangalore. Today, we are truly fortunate to have him with us to share his invaluable experiences and insights. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming the dynamic and accomplished Mr. Abhinandan Dhoke. Over to you, sir.
I think there is a very innovative and new way which I have learned in last 10 minutes of wishing everybody, which is pride, Jai Hind. I'm going to adapt it now. Gone are those days of good morning, good afternoon. Now it's all about Jai Hind. See, I'll just correct in my introduction because there is a latest update. I had 25 years of experience. Last 4 years has been managing director for Bowley. But in last 2-3 months, I started thinking for myself what's next. Sorry, is that okay? And a couple of months back, I decided to pursue something which gives me kick every day morning. And as we speak, yesterday was the last day in Bowley for me. And I'm entering into a new zone where I'm venturing into a startup. Just to give you an update on my introduction. I have been talking, I have been interacting, I have been coaching, training a lot of corporate employees. But never I get nervous because that is more about professional. But when I'm in front of the student, you guys are so innocent, honest, and very clear in your mind. Even a well-nurtured, learned, professional also get nervous. Before we start, I want to break down this session and want to make it very interactive. It should not be one way. So first 10 minutes, I'll talk more about corporate, a generic. And please feel free if you have any point, any question, etc. Then I'll walk you through. You guys are in the first year, right? So it's been only 3 months. So you guys are as fresh as what you were 3 months back, according to me. Let me keep it here. Is that fine now? Am I audible? So first 10 minutes on that, then I'll give you a glimpse of what is FMCG. I'll not ask you right now, but as we progress, we'll do. And last 10-15 minutes, give me some other mic. I think that's fine. Give me a hand mic. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Clear? And last 10-15 minutes, we'll have a Q&A. Right? So, guys, I think I'll be moving around. So So guys, what do you understand what was your objective when you joined? Why you wanted to join MBA? Most of you, I got to know some information. Most of you are either bachelors in commerce or BBA, etc., etc. I believe 90% or more are freshers, if I'm not wrong, right? So why MBA? Must be something in mind. If MBA, then you from a student you become babu. ऐसे कुछ है क्या? Or a manager boss. Then why MBA? There must be something in your mind. Why MBA? Or is it just a push from your parents or pressure coming from peer? Somebody is going somewhere. No? Anybody who can share his perspective, why MBA? What is the difference which you will learn, which you have not learned in your graduation?
Jai Hind sir, my name is Koshani, I'm from Kolkata. So one of the things MBA taught me, MBA is all about a transformative journey. It's just, it's been 3 months here. When I look back to myself 3 months back, what I was and what I have adopted new skills and how to multitask, how to synergize, how to manage things. This is only when something can be taught when you are into MBA. I have realized that because the amount of multitask is nowhere else. Maybe corporate is all about multitasking, but MBA will train you in such a way that you are too much corporate ready and you get a briefing about the corporate life here. Thank you, sir.
So I'll also give one more perspective of my professional journey, which was not there in the introduction. I joined from VJTI in 2000 as production engineer. I joined Britannia in 2000 as management trainee technical, a production engineer, management trainee technical. I had gone through 1.5 years of induction. It was 1.5 years. Every 2 months you have to go and you are exposed to a function, geography, etc., etc. Then I worked as a shift manager. Morning shift, night shift. I worked when we were pushed into shift. First 3 months we were continuously given only night shift. Okay. Then from shift I went into handling operations, third party manufacturing. From there I moved to corporate office, was handling supply chain for 3 years. Then I was also handling purchase for 3 years. Then I moved into sales. I was the first guy from back end moved into front end. Sales as a regional sales manager, then into corporate function, handled business verticals, okay, then sales development. Why I'm saying so? Do you feel I'm in between? After 10 years, I went to IIM Bangalore for 1 year, advanced management. Why I'm saying so? MBA doesn't mean you got an endorsement that you have become what you want or you arrived in life. There are different ways. There are practical ways, where you can nurture, learn, and actually incorporate that into your professional career. So my first advice to you is, in these 2 years, great, I think it is important to have a theoretical knowledge. It is important to know how an MBA curriculum works, but it is equally important that you get into practicality. And I was very happy to hear from your faculties that your curriculum is designed that way, whether it is Viva, whether it is case studies, etc., etc. Make most use of it. My personal experience, MBA endorsement doesn't mean that you are arrived in life. You have to slog yourself. Right? We will talk more about it after I finish my presentation. So, supermarket, retail store, whatever. And what are the shelves looking like? And what is there in that shelves? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, what does FMCG mean to you? The first, you saw the picture, right? From morning to night, what? Fast moving consumer goods. The alternate name for that also is CPG, Consumer Products Group. Most of the Western world call it as CPG and not FMCG. In India, it is more prominently called as FMCG. The FMCG industry or the consumer industry is responsible for mainly, like what you said, what are your daily needs? By the definition itself, fast moving. When it comes into your grocery and moves out of your grocery through consumption, that is the fast moving consumer goods. Increasingly, FMCG is for the daily need. Right? It is not essentially only food, it can be any category. It is the fourth largest sector in Indian economy. Okay, it is the fourth largest. You know one of the reasons why? Because India population also is growing rapidly. The disposable income is also growing rapidly. So this is a perspective of FMCG in India. These are the prominent players. Most of you must be knowing. Anybody who is consuming or using any Unilever product? Just name it. Shampoo, Britannia, Nestle, right? If you see the demographics, North is the largest when it comes to FMCG, right? It changes basis category. If you take bakery, South and East is more than 50% in terms of FMCG business. You know North, East, West, South, how these regions are made? You know how are the states which are allocated in this region, right? No? South is, Maharashtra is the last western region. Below down, and I'm talking from FMCG parlance. Okay. North is up to Madhya Pradesh. East is after Chhattisgarh. That's how the regions, in FMCG we talk about. Other important thing, and it is very interesting for you guys to know, you see the demographics, urban to rural. What is important, we'll talk about it more. FMCG going forward will be more driven by rural than urban. Rural, urban, मालूम है ना आपको? How do you define rural and urban? Rural मतलब क्या? Now let's talk in MBA language. What do you mean by rural? Huh? Always urban rural is defined by population. Less than 1 lakh population, small town, village is rural. In urban, there are different classification for your information. The city where you are right now studying and staying, it's called mini metro. Okay. What is Maha Metro? Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Calcutta. So these are codification and nomenclature which in FMCG normally we use. You just see the per capita consumer good consumption. You see India is at 29. But why India is critical? Because India is a rapidly growing population, a growing economy, and it is an agricultural country. All three facts make India very interesting globally. And that's why more and more players MNCs want to enter into India. Guys, please take a pause or just intervene me if you have any question. Please. I don't want this one way. And if it is boring, just raise your hand also. Okay, as I said, this is a split of India FMCG growth. Beverages, I heard beverages, who all are the beverage companies in India? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and then what is Varun Beverage? I heard Varun Beverage a couple of times. But what is it? So is Varun Beverage Pepsi or Varun Beverage is Varun Beverage? So what it is doing for Pepsi? So Varun Beverage is as critical for Pepsi as Pepsi for Pepsi itself in India. You know, when you study more, you'll understand there are different models. There is FOFO model, FOCO model, you know, all of that model. And please, my request is go and understand more about it. You will understand more about Varun. You will understand more about emerging brands which are coming in that sector. Commodities. What do you mean by commodities? Which is the commodity company in India? Yeah, ITC, yeah, HUL. All of them have different categories. Packaged food, home care, personal care, and confectionery. These are different categories within FMCG, right? Let's see how these categories contribute. As I was talking about this, so I'll skip this. In last 10 years, the revenue of FMCG is growing at 21.4%. And that's why it becomes very attractive. In our days, when I was taken as management trainee, and I'm talking of 24 years back, any MBA guy, the first aspiration that student had to enter into FMCG. And even today, after 24 years, you go to any IIM. Now there are a lot of consulting, IT, and all of that are coming. But even today, FMCG becomes in top 2 or top 3 as far as aspiration of any student is concerned. That makes it more interesting. The rural setting, 45% revenue, and urban is 55%. Mind you, 10 years back, this was less than 20% for rural. Every rural, you go to even a 10,000 population village, you will see a smartphone. They will have access to social media more than you. Okay, the mobile usage of rural is at par with urban. That's how we should not undermine a rural consumer in India. More than 65% of people stay in rural, and those people spend 50% of their total expenditure in FMCG products. Are you getting my point? Is it basic or is it complicated, what I'm saying? But I think for you guys, to get the perspective of FMCG, you should know this. What is the population of India? 850 million people consume FMCG product. Okay, if you take, India is young population. If you take out more than 70 years, if you take out less than 2 years, then almost 90% have access to FMCG. What are the driving factors, in FMCG? How many women are here in this room? Just raise your hands. Wow. And why is this split of setting, is it planned that way? Is that so? I see 60% girls over here. That is one of the reasons why FMCG is, getting growth. More and more working women, independent women. Increased disposable income and growing per capita expenditure. All of you have mobile? I know it is not allowed in this campus, but all of you have mobile at home? Right. How many of you have Facebook, Insta account? All. LinkedIn? Right. See the access. Increased purchasing power of customer. When you go to shopping, do you look for a brand? Suppose when you go for a cosmetic brand, or do you see just whatever is available cheap? Right? Awareness. Awareness is also pushing FMCG. Increased awareness of online shopping. How many of you are buying from Blinkit, this, that, whatever? And also getting Zomatos and Swiggy deliveries? Our time, when we used to get hungry and when we were in hostel, we had to walk 1 kilometer to see some kind of noodles, etc., etc. Now, in 10 minutes, it is at your doorstep. Things have changed, absolutely changed. Mind you, e-commerce and quick commerce, especially quick commerce, is driven by FMCG and not any other category. High brand recognition I have already talked about, and constant change in consumer preference. 2 years back, and I know we did this research, less than 18 years, their most preferred noodle was Maggi. Today, huh? How many of have that fascination for Korean noodle? Ramen, wamen, kya kya aata hai? Huh? The preferences are changing, right? So it's very interesting because FMCG is one category which is driven by consumer choice. And today consumer choices are changing. I am first time in last 5 years I'm wearing a watch. You know why I'm using this watch? It's a Garmin. It is giving me all my fitness check. That is the only reason. I don't require to see time. It's available on mobile. Things are evolving. Nobody wants to have status symbol of having high-end watch, etc., etc. It's about convenience, comfort, and functionality. Okay, FMCG behavior. E-commerce and quick commerce have changed the rule of game completely. In my company, during COVID, my e-commerce, quick commerce, online sale was only 5%. Today it is 25% contribution. 25%. There are companies who are only D2C. You know what is D2C? Yeah. There are companies only D2C. One of the company which started and was big hit in D2C, can you tell me? Mama. And recently they launched the IPO. You know it, right? Okay, this is just one small data for you guys. Just see Blinkit. Between Blinkit and Insta. Insta is Swiggy Insta, right? 2,300 crores revenue of Blinkit, 1,001 crore of Swiggy. $1.6 billion gross order value. 1 billion. Average order value 614 rupees. Number of dark store. You know what is dark store? Can somebody explain me what is dark store? You said you can explain.
Then, sir, myself, Harris. Sir, dark stores are stores which are placed in particular areas where the products are available, and the delivery guy will directly go to that area, and there they will have the parcel ready to deliver to the customer.
There are 1,000 pin codes where Blinkit has put their dark stores, and that's why they are able to give you 10 minutes delivery. Monthly transaction 5.1 million and cities 26, 27. Now just understand the gravity and the width of the opportunity in online. Through this Blinkit, and there is again Zepto. Zepto, the case study, I don't know whether you know about Zepto or not. It started by 22 years old guy. I just visited these people 15 days back. These guys are at a different level. They're talking of investment of 100 million, 500 million, not less than that. Different level. These people have changed the rule of game. And thanks to COVID, I think it has pushed further. Okay, market drive and research. What is very important in FMCG is you need to continuously talk to your consumer. Continuously. I was having an interaction with your faculty, just before entering, and he was saying, how does brand operate? You go to any shop, there are thousands of brands, and there is only limited space. Now, if you do not shout from the shop as a brand, you will not be available and you will not be visible. So there is cluttered competition, and hence there is a very, very big push in terms of marketing and research. Okay, this is very interesting slide. I thought it will be very informative for you. So what are the different classification in online? D2C, what is D2C? Exactly, what do you mean by D2C? How does D2C operate? First principle, one principle. Selling from your website in a simple language, right? Right? E-commerce. What is the difference between e-commerce and quick commerce? Which are e-commerce companies? Amazon, Flipkart. And what is the difference between both? Exactly. Basic, it is delivery time. Most quick commerce, by the name quick itself, it is about delivery time. Right? Now, within your e-commerce, if you see, there are two models. One is B2B, B2C. You know what is B2B, B2C? So Amazon will, Amazon will go to the retailers, book the orders to the retailers, and sell their product to the retailers. That is B2B. And Amazon app or Amazon website, you go and you purchase products, that is B2C. Quick commerce. There are again three different subcategories in quick commerce. One is M-commerce. What is M-commerce? Mobile commerce. So there are quick commerce companies which are available only through mobile. So you need to download the app and you need to start purchasing from the app. Then there is Omni, which is you can either go to website or also take it from. And what is hyperlocal then, the third one? Very interesting. It is emerging. You can tell me. What is hyperlocal? You know Reliance Jio? Okay. You know the business model of Jio? What they are doing, they are not putting dark stores. They said, I don't want to invest in dark store. I don't want to put infrastructure in dark store. So what I will do, I will go and approach a nearby supermarket. I will make that agreement between the supermarket and Reliance, and I will make that as a smart point. So when you book the order through their app, the delivery happens from that neighborhood supermarket and not through the dark store. And that is hyperlocal. So delivery from the close by vicinity within 3 kilometers. Online, guys, is way to go. I think the more you go and dwell into it in these 2 years, it's going to help you if whatever you're going to do. Whether you're going to be in whichever industry or start your own business, this is where you need to look out for. What is very important is FMCG. If I'm a startup, there is a very high initial launch cost. It is not very cheap. You need to have patience, you need to invest and you need to wait for the profitability. Because I'll talk about bakery. If I talk about cakes or if I talk about biscuits, every district, every state has one brand, small brand. So it is very fragmented. It is not only about Britannia or ITC. There are a lot of companies who are entering and still, they are driving sale and generating profit. I don't know what's happening with this. How many of you, again, this is for the girls over here. Am I boring? Is it boring? I think no, I see a lot of people drowsing or heads down. If that is the case, we'll stop the presentation and have more interactive. I don't want to bore you guys. Because I'm also investing my time here. I come only for you guys. Right? I could have done something better. If it is boring, you need to stand and say it is boring. No, I mean that. Should we continue or should we stop here? So then I need you mentally and physically available over here. Not only physically, mentally also. It took me 2 days to dig out this presentation, by the way. Not for fun. Now I am getting into my corporate shoes as a managing director and telling you. Natural products, more and more, no preservative, etc., etc. That's becoming trend. Okay. Some of the industry trend, even government is doing a lot of things where they are giving facilities, subsidies, and which is driving a lot of MSMEs to come and invest and start their manufacturing and launch their brands in FMCG. As I said about the categories in FMCG, 50% is household and personal care, 19% is food and beverage, and the rest around 30-31% is healthcare. What are the brands in healthcare? One big brand in healthcare? GSK, right? Yeah. A lot of pharmaceutical companies also have moved into healthcare, like Zydus Wellness, etc., etc. Yeah. Okay, this is again interesting. Do you know how the FMCG distribution works? So this is a factory, manufacturer. From factory, it goes to a company warehouse where it is called as CNF, carrying and forwarding agent. So in CNF, the stock belongs to company, but this guy is only an intermediary. Then from there, it goes to either super stockist or directly to the distributors. From distributors, it goes to either wholesaler or retailer. Classically, there are three channels in FMCG. One is general trade, one is modern trade, one is e-commerce. So this is a classical general trade distribution model. Yeah. I have skipped this slide because I thought it was more about interacting, with you guys. And honestly, I'm not getting a good positive vibe as well. So I want to cut short the presentation as well. So key success factors in FMCG: agile and seamless supply chain. What do you mean by that? Do you know, before Zomato, before Swiggy, who were the perfect delivery business partners or business house? Huh? Wow. Exactly. Let's see can you just play the AV? Just click on there. Play. Awaz.
A double walla is a guy who delivers homemade lunches. This is how the system works. The double walla comes to your home and picks up your lunch. He goes to the train station where all the other lunches are. They are sorted and then delivered out into the city to be dropped off at your office. You eat it, the double walla comes, picks it up, and brings your lunchbox back home. That's the key word, home. These are from your kitchen. This system, while seemingly rudimentary, has been recognized as one of the most efficient logistics systems in the world. Double wallas have an accuracy of 99.99% in their deliveries. Per million transactions, less than 4 mistakes are made.
So Dabbawalas, from that days, 99+% delivery, I don't think even any FMCG has achieved even today. And with care and with perfection and with quality. If you have filled the tiffin exactly with the same quantity and quality, it will be delivered. And the empty tiffins by 5 o'clock is back at your home. I think this is the best example of supply chain model, which has been a case study globally. And that is one of the key success factor of FMCG, because you are selling from 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee to 100 rupee product. And what is important is perfect supply chain and value chain, right from upstream to downstream. Can we go to the next slide? Just click again. Click again. Click again. Yeah. Okay. The second most important is product and customer at the heart of business in FMCG. If you have inferior product, do whatever, invest whatever, you will not be successful. And customer first. I think there is one more AV which talks about product and customer. I want you to see that. And this is not a business house. This has been an NGO, but doing this with utmost care. Can we play the AV? Go to the next slide.
75,000 children daily.
Across India, the Foundation's 65 kitchens serve 2 million children every day in over 19,000 schools.
What is important here that every day, supplying and ensuring that you are feeding the children, these children are your customer, whether they are paying you or not. And the same food with same quality, having the consistency, that makes the kid, having a smile on face. Now that NGO model applies even for a business house, that your product and your customer is at first. And the last one, very important in FMCG, in any business, but in FMCG because there is a cutthroat competition. Always be ahead of competition. Because I don't know whether you're aware, but let me give one very old example of Pepsi and Coke fight. You're aware of Pepsi and Coke fight. So I'll give you one instance. So Coke had a launch conference, and Coke is all about red, and Pepsi is all about blue. So on the gateway of India, Coke had a launch conference, and they had invited massive crowd, and it was at the 9 o'clock in the night, and they want to launch some Coke Zero or something or whatever. Pepsi, at the last moment, they came and they made entire South Mumbai blue. So you are inside the gateway of India where the conference is happening, which is red. But when you walk out, it's all about blue. So it is all about how competitively you push your competition ahead. In FMCG, only that person wins. And there are a lot of examples. This company called Sesa? They had this Seba and Seba. Okay, it's a German company, Seba. They were the challenger brand. A German company just entered. The entire Bombay, there were holdings only of this Seba Med. And challenging directly Unilever. So whether you are a big house, whether you are a small company, competitive spirit and ahead of competition is the mantra. And there is a small animated version of how this, competition helps you to. The summary is competition can attack you from everywhere. If you are alert, if you are absolutely there with plan A, plan B, you will win. And being in FMCG, running a business, I've experienced this, every day when, some brand, you have decided something, you have designed something, you go in the market and you launch and implement something, but before that competition has come and hit you. It's you have to be on your toes if you are in FMCG business, as simple as that. Guys, this was my presentation. Very basic fundamental about FMCG. I would like to invest time now in interacting, which is more important, because honestly, I don't feel if there is only one way I am interacting in, and which I feel then you are disinterested or you are not liking it. Which, if it is the case, let me know. If not, please ask questions. If you have anything in your mind, if you want to ask something about FMCG, about me, about any other career perspective, about if you have any confusion, if I can give my 2 cents, I'll be happily doing that. Can we have mic moving around?
Jai Hind sir, Stuti Sharma here. Sir, how can we relate the FMCG industry with now HR department? As like I want to be in the field in HR.
HR, okay,
Yeah.
good.
So, like, what types of competitions I will be facing, or like, what type of, like, in general, how can we relate the FMCG industry with HR department, HR field?
Very good question. Thank you. See, for HR, there are two very important things: organizational capability and competency. You know, capability. In capability, there are three different types. One is people capability, process, and one is technology. People capability and competency is core for any HR person. Right from getting the right candidate inducted, recruitment, selection, induction, and then building competency. In competency, there are two. One is functional competency, one is behavioral competency. Functional competency, somehow one will bring with this skill. Behavioral competency is role of HR. Like I've seen the kind of discipline in this institute. It has become your value and culture, right? HR's role is to bring that value and culture in the organization. So normally people are misinterpreted that HR is about only recruiting talent. That anybody can do. Recruitment agency will do it. HR role is how to nurture that talent and convert that into a performance model. Is that answering your question? If not, just tell me, elaborate further.
Oh, like, I want to ask in another way that, so, like, how can I can build a career in FMCG as an, like,
In HR.
yeah, in HR. That's
So whatever I said is also applicable for FMCG.
yes.
The challenges in FMCG is there is huge inventory of talent. Second, they are very vulnerable. So it is all about, pay and take me. So if you want to be in FMCG, I think, I don't know, in FMCG also when you enter in HR, your first 3 years will be having a very different role. Okay. Then as and when you move from junior management to middle management, your role will be different. But if you are in FMCG, you need to have an outside-in perspective in HR.
Yes.
And also imbibe the value and culture of the organization if you want to be successful in HR. Because HR function is dependent on culture and value of the company.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Thank you, sir.
Jain sir, Saksham Singh here. So as you told about hyperlocal, so I wanted to ask that that stores like DMart, can they also enter to that segment in future?
See, DMart already have this thing. One is their mega stores and DMart points, if you have seen. Okay, but they are not into online.
Yes sir.
So hyperlocal is about online shopping.
So
DMart, if they change their business model,
yes, sir.
I think absolutely they have infrastructure. They have their stores, and I think their stores are very well located as far as this thing. So they can be successful.
So sir, in future can DMart also partner with Jio and enter into this segment?
No,
Because
Jio and DMart are both competitors, direct competitors.
but sir, like Jio trying to partner with local stores, and DMart already have a branch of stores all over India. So can
Now,
it
what will happen in
and,
that case? DMart will be delivery partner. The revenue will go to Reliance.
Okay.
And DMart being a straight competitor to Reliance, I don't think DMart should do this. If I am in DMart, I will not do that.
And sir, one more thing, like Blinkit is opening dark stores. So can Blinkit also start partnering with stores like this?
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Every this brand has their own business model. Now Blinkit, the USP of Blinkit is 10 minutes delivery.
Yes sir.
That's in 7 minutes, 8 minutes, they are ahead of time in terms of delivery. Now, for that, if Blinkit business model is, I will open more dark stores. So now they are into 1,000 or 1,200 pin codes, right? Now, if they want to open more dark stores and have control on business, then they might not go in hyperlocal model.
And so what type of opportunities does it provide us as a marketing student
For
in hyperlocal and dark store?
a brand like companies,
sir.
I think very important, you are getting more options. See, I'll tell you, these online guys are absolutely having a very strong muscle power. So their margin structure is very heavy. They will squeeze you. So more and more options in terms of brands or the delivery, it is good for the brands because then you have a hard negotiation with these people. But very good question. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Jai Hind, sir. This is Koshani. Sir, as you told, like the scope of FMCG into rural market is pretty good in the coming years. Will you please elaborate on this and with relevant to it, the career growth into FMCG for the rural sector, how to relate and what is the correlation between these two, the scope of FMCG into rural market as par with the career scope into the same? If you kindly elaborate.
Very good. See, post-COVID, every FMCG company grew, Post-COVID, the FMCG company who invested in rural got better return. Okay. I'll give you certain examples why FMCG is critical. Which shampoo normally you use and what is the price of that shampoo you have? Dove, what will be the price? You buy it and use it for a month or 2 months, but how much you pay? No. I'll tell you, this project was started by Kevin Care. Kevin Care has a brand called Chick shampoo. Yeah, you know it. Kevin Care said that there is an aspiration of a village woman. She also wants to wash her hair, but there is no accessibility, availability, and affordability of these brands in rural market, right? So brand could not access into rural because of infrastructure, because of what? Affordable. I can't pay 50 rupees for a shampoo. So Kevin Care said, let me come with a 1 rupee shampoo. One time use, okay? And it will be like that laddi. You know that we have the chips ka laddi? It will be like that laddi. So those women who wanted to aspire because they never also used a good soap, now they got accessible and affordable, a good brand of shampoo. That's how the penetration started. And then more and more companies came in. Unilever started one program where they got all the aggregated women and they made them their sub-distributors. Okay. By doing that, what happened? Employment to women as well as availability of Unilever product across villages. While it happened, the disposable income of rural started growing. They had more aspiration. Today, even a farmer's kid wants to have at least a good smartphone. Okay, farmer's kid want to have a good product. I want to have Cadbury chocolate as a gifting. Forget about only consumption. All of that started giving trigger to brands, and that gave them return. So that's why today rural is growing faster than urban. Urban is growing because in urban market there is a lot of premiumization which is happening. Okay, what should I offer something different which the other company is not offering? And that is a trigger for the consumer in urban. In rural, it is about availability, accessibility, and affordability. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, sir. Additional one thing. If since I have an immense interest into the FMCG sector, just for example, I'm taking for the job placements, I am taken into a FMCG company. And if I'm posted into a rural area for like driving up sales for brand promotion, so I was asking, like, since rural market have the huge scope for the growth of this FMCG, so will it be like a cherry on top, like for my FMCG career start, like I have drove sales into the rural segment and how I have worked on, how I have done the branding, how I have drove the sales, I have customer relationship management, how I have partnered channels, everything. So if you kindly
see, it is not either or, it is and. If you want to be successful in FMCG, you need to get a cross section of experience. You should know, because the challenges are very different. In a metro market, the challenges are very different. In rural market, the challenges are very different. But I would recommend that you should get an exposure in rural to get the feet on ground what's happening in FMCG, how consumer behaves. The shopper also, a retail outlet in rural is very different from urban. So it is good to get that exposure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Prakhar Tiwari. I wanted to know that what was the decision or what was that initial thought that you took by leaving Bowley Group as a MD and starting your own venture? I wanted
See,
to know
I have
about
been CEO or MD for 10 years. And I had very clear, and most of you would be having, I heard about it even before coming over here. Very clear, I want to be in finance, I want to be in HR, I want to be in sales. So when I started at the age of 23, my first this thing was I want to get into sales because I am a technical guy. That was my first thing. Then the second was I want to get into CEO position before 40. And the third was I want to enter into entrepreneurship or mentorship before 50. Now I am 48 and a half. So you know the reason. So I wanted, it should give you a kick when you get up in the morning that you are doing something different. The day you feel you are again doing the same thing tomorrow, you should start thinking about what's next for you. It was going on for 6 months, by the way. It was not an instant decision. From February, March, it was going on. The startup which was launched and now handled by a few of my partners or the family members, it started 2 years back. And eventually they wanted me to enter. And someday I had to do it. I had done it today.
Thank you, sir.
This is more interactive, which I like, because I was feeling you guys were getting bored with the presentation. I thought that would have been interesting. But I'm happy that the way you're asking questions, and very good questions, I'm happy to answer that. Yeah. Okay, so the brand is called Daishik. Those who have learned Sanskrit will know what do you mean by Daishik. Daishik is simple, Desi. So the theme behind this was, and I'll tell you an example. You know ID Fresh, the idli dosa batter, right? ID Fresh is consumed as good as it is consumed in South, it is consumed in North. So the idea was, every 200, 300 kilometers in India, food habits change. You eat a sambar, idli sambar, you eat sambar in Telangana, you eat in Tamil Nadu, or you eat in Karnataka, it tastes very different, right? You get now your shawarma and rolls and all, which is momos, which was absolutely the hill kind of stuff, has entered into metros. So thought was, why don't we do cross-pollination? Why a particular food or particular food habit should be restricted to only that region? So let's make it available across the way it has happened. And that's where Daishik was born. And we entered into three categories. One is into instant chutney. Why I was talking of ID Fresh? Because what ID Fresh has done, I'll tell you the example. When husband and wife are working and some guest comes in and you need to offer them some snack, wife goes down or calls from the Blinkit ID Fresh dosa batter. They immediately can make instant dosa and serve it with chutneys. So in 15 minutes, you are offering snack to your guest. But the challenge was chutney. You can get the batter and make idli or dosa. But for chutney, you have to break the coconut, you need to do all of stuff, which will take half an hour, right, to do that. So we have come with instant chutneys. White coconut, tomato, green. So white coconut. It has no preservative, it has 12-month shelf life. You take the powder, add water, and it is ready to use. Within 2 minutes, and I would not claim, but it is as good as your fresh chutney. So now why we are doing, it will make accessible. West Bengal, if we go, and they have never explored chutney, and if we make it available, consumption of these categories will increase. The second is millet snacks. We are saying that why only fried snacks are good. Even healthier snacks are good, tasty, and actually can serve whatever purpose. So that is the second one, is millet snacks. And third are spices. These are three categories which Daishik is into. Right now we are in Goa, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Okay, last two.
Jai Hind sir, my name is Payal Soni. So DMart recently launched that concept of DMart Ready. You have to get online, you have to get order online, and by few days the order will be dispatched in the DMart Ready. So the concept of DMart Ready is applied in some of the cities, but now they are just backed off from that concept. So what are the challenges DMart faced in that concept? So they just closed it out.
See, two things. You know why DMart is very popular? What is the reason? You go to any tier 2 city and you go from 28th of the month to 5th of the month, there is a queue of customers. Why? Absolutely. For me, they negotiate so much that if you are giving this much price, you have to give me 30% extra. But they are not keeping that 30% extra with them. They are passing on to the customer. So DMart USP is, in one roof, you are getting best price and you are getting all products. Now with DMart Ready, maybe that was not for two reasons. One, it took number of days to deliver it over there. There is no patience. Secondly, there are better deals when I go to DMart store. So why should I book and get it from DMart Ready? Maybe that is the reason it didn't work.
Jain sir. So, sir, my name is Akhilesh Singh, and I have two questions. The first one is, sir, what are all the core marketing skills that a marketer or a marketing guy should have? And the second question is, sir, do the person face the language barrier in FMCG sector while they have to deal in the different markets?
Okay, the first question, very simple in a very fundamental way. Brand, a good brand means what? It is physically available and it is mentally available for consumer. Example, I think of toothpaste and Colgate comes in my mind. It is mentally available, over here. So for a good co-marketing or brand, you have to work on consumer marketing first, then customer marketing. Okay, so that is the first fundamental, and then all of these principles of marketing and Kotler and all will come along. But this is very important for a brand. Secondly, in FMCG, there is no language barrier. I worked as an RSM in Chennai, where I tried for 1 year, I couldn't even utter a word of Tamil, but still, I had a very great stint over there. So the best part of FMCG is your language is spoken through your action and your communication is done through your execution. So it doesn't matter wherever you are. I've seen people, the most difficult state is Kerala in terms of language. But I've seen people from north, being an area sales manager for Kerala and were successful over there.
Thank you, sir.
Due to time constraint, this will be the last question
Yeah.
we can take, sir.
Jain sir, my name is Pratham Jain, and my question to you is how are FMCG products tested in market, as it takes lots of research and development, and if it do not works in the testing stage, how do you take decision to discontinue?
Good question. It takes 9 months to 12 months. So there is a concept called innovation, which is from concept to commercialization. The first you have to conceive the concept and then you pilot it and launch it. It takes 9 to 12 months. And for your information, 2 out of 10 launches are only successful. But if you don't launch 10, your 2 will not also be successful. So people keep on experimenting. And third, I think in FMCG you require patience. You need to keep on putting intervention for your innovation. So no company will withdraw at least before 24 months after launch to see whether your product is working or not working.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhinandan Dhoke, sir, for sharing your invaluable insights and experiences with us today. Your journey and wisdom have truly inspired us all, and we deeply appreciate the time you have taken to be here. We look forward to applying these lessons in our life and for your remarkable leadership and innovative approach, and we truly anticipate your next visit to our campus. Jai Hind, sir.